So as usual, like there are many versions, okay? So you may have one question of these, have all, as you see. So this is a test that you have all the skills required in the limits. So let us start by number 1, A. Okay. Yeah, we said first step you replace n. Now this takes you, okay, if you put a -1 squared, you get a 1. -5 plus 4 is again a 1 minus 3 plus 2. So they made it as 0/0. I remind you again, if you get, let's say 1/0, you stop. Any number over 0, let's say 7/0, you say it's infinity. If you get -7/0, let's say, you have minus infinity. Okay, if you have a number 0 over a number, you say it's a 0. That's it. These are the possible scenarios. But 0/0 now, we don't know. We say it is indeterminate. Now I and D is enough. It's well known. Or you can just write the whole word just once at the beginning, because you have the rest to be similar. Indeterminate. Okay, and we say simplify. Now to simplify polynomials, it's like expressions in x up and down. You try to factor as much as possible. Go ahead. Yeah. Now, if you are able to figure out those brackets, you go on. You apply the quadratic formula, okay? But be careful, like I want to write or use quadratic formula. But what do you do when you solve for x? What do you do? Because when you use quadratic, you get x equal. But right here, the question is about factoring. So what you do is you kick the number to the
other side
left, and you make it as a factor right here. Now that you can do, in whatever. For me, I mean, the product of two numbers is this, which is a 4. So I want to write this represents multiplication of two numbers, and that represents when you add them. So 4 is like not 2, 2, because when you add, you don't get a 5. So it should be 1 and 4. That's it. And you have pluses everywhere. So these are the numbers. Now, if you apply quadratic, you get x equal -1. It means x plus 1 is a factor, and so on. Perfect? Okay, at the denominator, what? Yeah. Their product is a 2, so it's a 1 and a 2, so it's very obvious. It's all in pluses. Okay, how do you proceed? We say similar factors, they cancel under multiplication. So your answer would be simply limit. You keep writing the limit, okay, till you replace at the last step. So this is plus 4. Okay. So go ahead, replace n. Your final answer is how much?
It's going to be -1 plus 4, which is 3
over 1. So it is a 3. Finish. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is part A. Yeah, we jump to part B. Go ahead. Okay, now in part B, we know the scenario. So this is called by conjugate. Now we are making revision. Okay. So this is the scenario of conjugate or rationalize. Right away, you say this is a, you will check it up again. It takes you a few seconds, but those problems, usually 100%, they make them indeterminate, okay? You put a 1, you get 0/0. So you do right away multiply, so don't waste your time. Right away, you multiply by the conjugate. Conjugate means the expression that has only radicals. So you jump right here. It may be, this may be up, sometimes not. Okay, you jump, you change the sign in the middle. So this becomes what?
What is that between the radical and the other radical?
It's a minus. Someone circled it, so it's a minus here. Oh. So you change the sign in the middle. I put it plus in each. Okay, you copy the rest. Now we say simplify. Simplify right here is to multiply both up the numerator and denominator. So here you do not, you put them in the multiplication form, okay?
Yeah.
So keep the brackets, don't foil it, keep the brackets. Okay, at the bottom, what do you do? Why? Because those are similar in the sense these are the same, okay? But there's only in the middle a change in the sign. So they follow a plus b, a minus b. And in this case, that would be your answer, okay? So what shall I put?
1 second.
Let me write it in steps if you want. So you want to write a means the first term, which is the radical. And again, that's radical 2. But you want to score each, okay? There's a score. Now, if you want to write away the simplify, you can do so, or write it and then simplify. It's up to you, okay? Now, there are many steps. So you see, at the bottom, what do you get? You get x plus 1 minus 2. So this would add up to x minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now x minus 1 is not there somewhere in the top. This is x squared minus 1. So you need to, again, x much. It's following this rule, which is difference of two squares. What do you get? You get x, 1, 1. There's a minus, there's a plus. Okay, so this is factoring. You cannot eliminate these unless they are the same. So they are not the same now. You want to rewrite it in terms of its factors, we say. Okay, so the method is a little bit long, but not that much. Okay, now it's time to cancel like, so those would, and you can now plug in the 1 you replace. You get a 2 multiplied by radical 2. And when you add those up, you get 2 radical 2. And when you multiply, you get 4 radical 2. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Any question?
No.
Okay, with the infinity, the third is applying infinity. So what do you do? Okay, right here, no need to replace. We say any expression. So this is an expression. Any expression in x, and there's the question infinity in plus or minus. Answer would be simply infinity. We don't care for its sign. Okay, no need. So that we say indeterminate as well. Okay, perfect. No need like to replace n, because we know all this would be infinity when x goes to infinity. So you need to simplify. But the way we simplify, we said, is not as before. You do? In infinity, what do you do? You can write it here. Simplify, we say divide by. I mean, that what you write, you can write in the exam. You can paraphrase it the way you like. You can write it in much more words, okay? But simply, you can say divide by the highest exponent, which is how much? So I see this is a 3 again, so it is 3. Imagine that was a 5. That exponent is a 6. You divide by x to the 6. So you divide by the highest. Divide by, in this case, x power 3. Okay, and you have to rewrite. You want to rewrite all this. Show that you are dividing by x power 3. So copy it. Yeah, make sure that you that the way you copy and the way you express your answer should be clear. Okay, make enough space, because I want to divide each by x power 3. Okay, you see, I mean, you can follow that way because this is, I mean, fast in writing. Okay, so you rewrite it all, and then you divide all by x power 3.
Yeah.
And be careful how you divide, right? Because I see some students, they say, I want to divide the 5 as well, but here, and this and that. So be careful. So what do you say? Is this right, or wrong? You divide the whole term by, okay? So any expression, let's say in between symbols or in between the signs, we call it a term. So you divide each by x power 3. So all this is divided by x power 3. Okay. Now simplify. What do you get? Only those that have the same degree, the matching degrees, they would remain. So those have the same x power 3. Okay. So that number or coefficient remain, that again, they have the same, but the rest, they don't have the same. So all those are zeros. Okay, you can write it this way. And all those would be zeros. Okay.
Wait, doesn't it just become 2 over x? Why
Yeah, because when you
Why don't-
simplify any of those, when you simplify, you get a number over x. So any number over x as x goes to infinity would be 0. Okay. Any number.
Oh, okay.
So for example, right here, 7 over, no need to explain this, but for your own sake, x cubed means 7 over infinity, which is 0. Plus or minus, it's 0. Like 5x over x cubed. When you simplify x's, you get over x squared. So this is again 5 over infinity, again 0. That makes sense? So those, no need to explain, it's well known. Your final answer would be simply 3 over 5. Good? Okay, so this is all about in this test. But be careful, you are responsible for all the, let's say, other related forms we have taken before, like give example of functions and limits and all the stuff that you want to review. Okay, we have this question. Okay, number 2, I have this. Okay, now there's some given, and they say find the coordinates of the points. So the tangent line is horizontal.
What question is this?
Number 2.
Okay.
Okay. Now you may sometimes you may be surprised by questions, whatever, but you follow what you learned. Okay. So far they are talking about, you want to find something. You may not be able to figure out what are the steps, let's say, but you follow what is given always. So this is given, okay, and given again the tangent horizontal. So the tangent line horizontal means the derivative should be 0. That's it. This is what you should know. Okay.
And you cut.
Yes.
You cut. I didn't hear what you said.
Yes. A tangent line, the horizontal. That means horizontal means that the parallel to the x-axis. Horizontal means the derivative of the line is 0. Okay, but because being I'm explaining, derivative of the line means the derivative of the given curve or graph, we say here. So it is exactly y prime, which is equal exact. Anyhow, so the derivative of the line, which is the slope, but that we don't need. That is the derivative of this, which is 0. So go ahead, you derive the y given. How much do you get? You get 4x cubed minus 16x. The derivative of the 1 is 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it. You want to solve it. The values you obtain would determine the x, and you replace back to get the point. So this is all what's all about. Okay.
So because it's horizontal, we put the derivative equal to 0.
Because it horizontal, only it's horizontal. The line horizontal.
So we put the derivative equal to 0.
Always. Now you may have, but it's not like your course is calculus for business. For sciences, they take other scenarios like line is vertical, but in your case they won't have such question. Okay. In case they ask you vertical means derivative is 1 over 0, and in this case you expect your derivative, but in your course we don't have that scenario. This is vertical for vertical tangent. Now, if you want to continue, what do you get? You want to solve. So here, try to factor it on by taking common. What is repeated? Let's say in x only. So we have 4x squared minus 16.
Isn't 4x repeated?
Yeah, x repeated. Now you can take in numbers, but no need. You can take 4, but no need. This would be x0. This you solve it is x. So x would be plus minus 2, because when you put a radical for the square, you get 2 answers. Is it okay? So we have how many points, by the way? So far, these are not points, okay? A point has x, y, but So far we have 3 values of x. Now you say the points are, so you say the points are. So we have points, right? What are the points? You have x0, x2, x minus 2, but I need the y's. These values, what are these? You go up, you replace x, use calculator, find the y.
Yeah.
So we say replace up and figure out the y's.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much on calculator? If you put a 0, you get 1.
Yeah.
So let me say this is, you get it by replace in the given equation. So replace, find f of 0. This is f of 2. This is f of minus 2. This is f of x, if you want to call it. You may have this as f of x. So if you plug in 2, use calculator, how much is it?
Minus 15.
Okay, and if you put minus 2, again you get minus 15, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So these are the points required. Okay. Next, question popping, which is an application on compounding continuously. Yeah. So they ask you to find the annual rate compounded continuously after being invested, this amount invested to be a triple in 7 years. Okay, what do you do? So you want to find the rate, annual rate R.
Are we using the formula from part A still?
Part A, no, part A has nothing to do with this, no. Okay. This is compounding. Okay, part A, it was a function, a curve, a graph. No, it has nothing to do, no. Well, with that we have taken, it's a lesson by itself. It's about compounding continuously. Line the word compounded continuously. This means the famous formula, which is A equal PE to the power RT. Okay. So T time in years. R is the annual rate that they are talking about. This is R they need to find. Okay. Now what is A and P? A is the total amount after investment. So the A stands for the amount. Okay. Now what is P? P is the value of investment. Okay. Investment value. Investment amount. The P stands for principal or present value that you started by. It's investment value. Okay. So do we have numbers of those investment? We don't, but we know that it tripled. Is it okay? Tripled. Sometimes this is, sometimes that comes as doubled, quadrupled. Okay, we don't care, or even halved. But an investment would be much more. You know. So what do we do with the triple? Yes, 3. So triple means you have 3 times. Now some students go on with no need. You can say, so if you start by if you start investing by 100, so it becomes 300. So it means this is a 300 and that is 100, right? E to the power RT. But need not to take numbers, I mean, because they didn't specify if, I mean, if you start. If the start is an investment of $100, so it becomes 300, tripled, double to 100, and so on. So usually we work it in letters. So if you start by P, it becomes a 3P. So this is a 3P, and this is a P, e power RT. Now we have 7 years, so T is 7. Any questions so far? So you see, we are not allowed to take numbers, but if you take numbers, it would be the same answer. But this is the perfect way you represent your solution steps. So if you do P, those would be eliminated. So you get back to 3, which is e power 7R. And right here, when you divide by 100, you get back to 3. Okay, same thing. Question so far?
No.
Okay, good. How do you find R?
Len.
Yeah, we apply ln on both sides. Yeah, we put ln. And then what happens?
You put the power down.
Yeah, so that goes to the front. Ln 3 stays on to the left, equals 7r. Now ln e is 1, so this you don't need to write, okay? Some would say, okay, that would be eliminated anyhow. So your rate would be ln 3 divided by 7. Go to your calculator. How much you get in decimal?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
0.1569.
Okay. 0.1569. Okay, so 0.15. Okay, now do you leave this answer that way? Because
No.
the rate usually in percent. So this is a value. Now in percentage, you multiply by 100, so this becomes 15 point in percent. Okay?
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. Okay, that was an application on compounding. Now the questions that you expect next would be derivatives. So they say, yeah, don't simplify. In your course, we don't simplify the derivatives. In other courses, they ask you to simplify, but right here we don't. So you derive and you leave your answer the way it looks. Okay, go ahead. Now they didn't give a name for that function, by the way. So sometimes you expect this is whatever or it's a y. And now I don't see a name for that function. Okay, maybe they forgot. So imagine that is a y equals. Okay, so you want to derive. Okay, so the derivative, you say the derivative is, in this case, let's say it's a y prime. So how much is it?
You have to do quotient rule and product rule.
Yeah, you decide. Yeah, okay. So the first is quotient is a must. Yes. So this is quotient. Yeah, it is a must, and that is a product. Yeah. So in the same problem in one. Now it's up to you. You wanna write the UV clearly. It's up to you, or you can go on. Okay, you can go on, and this is, let's say, u prime v, v prime u, but no need to write those now. Okay, this is like the format of your answer. No need, no need. Now you wanna do it aside. How do you represent your answer? This is the question. Okay, so what do you have in mind? You wanna do this separate and that separate, and then you put them together, or you derive on the spot? What do you prefer?
I would like to do them separate.
Separate. Okay, good. So you do the arrow representation. I mean, arrows would be presenting your answer. So you go on right here. You say u prime v minus over v square. Okay, how much would be? And right here we go on solving. Okay, aside as well.
So it would be.
You put your answers on the same line. Finish.
It would be a 13.
13 times the radical.
Yeah.
Minus deriving the radical times 13x plus 1. Okay, now deriving radical x to the 5 needs attention. So you can, I mean, I want to explain. So I want to.
X to the power of 1 over 5.
No, you want to write it power. The way you said it's not good. Radical x to the 5. I don't see a 1. Where's the 1? Radical x to the 5. This is not 1. This is not 1 at all. Okay. The way you spell it is square root. Square means a 2. This is a 2 hidden. We don't see it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. By the way, we don't say 2 over 5. The number in out. It's in out. So this is x power
5 over 2.
5 over 2. Okay, good. Now that you didn't derive yet, if you want to derive it, it becomes power rule. So let me write it here. It's 5 over 2 x power how much? Yeah, use calculator. 5 over get
3 over 2.
3 over 2. Okay, perfect. Now you want to square radical x to the 5. Now you can simplify it. I mean, this is radical x to the 5 square is x to the 5, but no need to simplify. They say it's written here. No need to simplify. You can, but no need. Okay, so I can leave my answer this way. I can leave it. Okay, and now you jump to the second derivative here with the product. What is u prime v prime u? So again, deriving x cube is 3x squared. Now, because those would be on the same line, so you can drop your answer to be to the. You get it? Because you don't need to. It's long. You don't need to rewrite this and rewrite that answer. Okay. We know that the answer would be both on the same line. So put your answer to the front. There's a minus, open bracket. Now you want to do u prime v plus v prime u, right? So
Yeah.
the cube.
It's gonna be 3x squared.
Okay, times e power. Okay, I'm done. Plus deriving the e is itself times derivative of the top, which is a 3, times the u, which is x cube. Any question?
Yeah. No, it's good.
Okay, perfect. Now you see, this is your answer. No need any writing anymore, because again, it's a waste of time. So this is and if you want, just put all this in a frame. You tell your teacher, I mean, the one who's marking, want to understand that this is all my derivative. You say this, they ask you find the derivative, you say this is the derivative, finish. Now, because I'm explaining, you see, this explanation, you take it away, this explanation, you see, all this explanation, you see, this is your answer, finish. And even if you want to that I was writing, okay, you can still do it. You use a pencil, for example, okay? Any question? So far, so good?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, because it matters how you represent your answer, okay? It matters. And you don't need to waste your time. Your exam is only 90 minutes. I mean, it is in person, you go to campus. You may have a few minutes more, I don't know, maximum maybe 5 minutes, but not that much. So right here, again, they need the derivative. So what do you have in mind? Which way you go?
Product rule.
Again, product rule. So do you want to write the answer? Yeah, right away you can say this is u prime v plus v prime u. So they didn't give a name, but you can say derivative is. Okay? Because this is a y, we say y prime equals. Okay, now derivative of that part, this is a u, that is a v. What shall I put?
8x3 plus 1.
Yeah, 8x3 plus 1. Okay, in the bracket. So the v I copy. Finish. Now plus, this is the plus I'm talking about. Okay, now you want to put v prime u. Now derivative of this, it's up to you. You can approach it by quotient rule, or you can approach it by direct. Direct in a sense, you remove the fractions. So some would say, oh, this is simple form. I want to kick this radical up. But before you kick radical up, you should say how much is radical x. So this is x power how much?
Half.
Sorry?
Half.
Half. Okay, good. Now, the way it is now, it's quotient. The way it is a fraction means quotient. But I want to avoid the quotient because that is simple. What you do is you push this up, you get x power minus half.
Yeah.
So you derive that. Okay. Now in the exam, you need. I mean, you won't be able like to figure out that this x power minus half unless you write it. So you make a flash and you say that it becomes, and then I want to derive it next. So deriving x power minus half, how much? Minus half goes to the front. X, you subtract a 1, you get 2. Times u, there's nothing. There's no, you are deriving a power rule. So this goes to the front, subtract a 1. Perfect?
Yeah.
Because this is no product, there's no quotient anymore. Minus, this minus, derivative of the e is itself, finish.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, we are lost. Why we are lost? Because it's product rule in a sense. All this derived, you multiply by. So be careful. I mean, that is the derivative in my bracket. This is all v prime times u 2x to the 4. I don't know if you are lost.
No, I got it.
Is it okay? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanna or you wanna represent your answer in a way like you say, let u equal, blah blah blah. Then you find u prime, v equal, then you prime. Okay, some prefer this, and then you say derivative would be u prime v plus v prime. You put them all together. Okay. So what we have done right here is v prime. It's deriving that, and the one next multiplied by u. So all this is my answer. You can put it in a frame. Okay. Any question?
No, it's all good.
Okay, good. Next. Yeah, they are not easy expressions. They demand attention. They are not hard as well. Okay, so tell me, how do you proceed?
It's a quotient rule.
So this is quotient. That is not quotient. Okay, so this is direct. You derive this separate, and what this is quotient.
Yeah.
I guess I need to elaborate here. Okay, because the look is not simple. Quotient rule. So I wanna say which one is a u, which one is a v. So we'll say let u equal, let v equal. So u is the upper numerator, and this is the denominator. Okay? So I need to find u prime, I need to find v prime. Then I would put the quotient rule, which is u prime v minus over v square. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's going to be a 2x.
This is 2x. Now that needs attention. Let me see your feedback. Go ahead. So what shall I write?
Then x would be a 1 over x.
Okay, I want to put a fraction. Where do I put the 1 over x? Here or there? What do I put up? What do I put down? Go ahead.
1 over x.
Okay, then 1 over x. Next. This is not ln x only. Ln x, it's 1 over x, finished. But I have ln, and in my another ln. So yeah, I guess it needs just to figure out what's going on. So usually, this is the explanation. Ln any expression in x, let's say ln a, the derivative would be a prime over a. But what is your a in this question?
Ln.
Ln x, you say. Okay, so this is. So if this is my a, okay, now you want to derive it. So a prime in this case would be how much? 1 over. What is your a? Ln x, simply. So this is your answer.
Okay.
Simple. Okay. So I would say a is ln x. My derivative should be in the numerator. So it's 1 over x over ln x. Now we need to simplify, but that, what does it mean? You should know, what does that mean? I mean, how do you rewrite this properly? If you want, you rewrite this properly. You know that 1 over x, this is division, and that is division, would be on the same side. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it should be that way. So I prefer to write it this form. Or if you want, even you can represent it that way. Anyhow, your final answer, simply you want to put all those together. So let me see your way. Derivative is, because they didn't assign a name. Usually if it is a y, you say y prime equal. But if you want to say this is, that is derivative is y prime equal. So you want to put your answer. Simply, it's u prime v minus v prime u. How do you put all those together?
2x into ln x.
On ln.
Minus x squared.
Yeah, minus x squared by this, which is?
1 over x.
Let's copy it. 1 over x on x. So be careful that you want to put one fraction. Okay, for that reason, I made it that way. Because it's a fraction up with a fraction here.
Yeah.
And over v squared. So what is your v? It's a ln x. Be careful. Where do I put the square? It's for all.
Yeah.
I need an extra bracket. Because if you put it as a where is wrong. If you put the square here is wrong. Okay, this is okay. This is your answer. No need to simplify the same. Again,
Okay.
in science courses, your course again it's business calculus. Okay, so no need to simplify.
Okay.
Okay, still one. That's it. Well, we have E. We didn't talk about the E. You see, the problem is long for that reason. We still have this. We didn't talk about E power radical x. Again, deriving e power a is how much? It's the same times a prime. What is a in this case? Radical x. And radical x is x power half. So you need to put your answer into the front here. And there is no space. I want to push it. I need to put all my answer on one line. So this would be my. Okay. Still that term you want to derive. Deriving this how much? Deriving e power radical x. So a is the radical x, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now your answer would be simply e power radical x times deriving radical x. Either you want to put it x power half, then you know what. But for me, I can write it away. It's 1 over 2 root x. Okay? We have done derivative of x power half right here.
Yeah.
That's exactly x power minus half. We have done harder. So this answer should be all to the front. So it should be plus e power radical x times 1 over 2 root x. So this is your answer in total. The expressions are not easy. They are complicated a little. So presenting your answer properly is what matters. Perfect?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, good. Now we have the last question here for derivatives. Go ahead. Again, if you call this a y, so how much is y prime? Which rule you apply?
Chain rule.
Okay. You start. This is all power. This is all to the power. So 2018 goes to the front. So y prime would be 2018. What do you do next? Is copy ln plus to the power how much?
2017.
Yeah, you subtract the 1. Okay, now chain rule times the derivative n. Now it's a long expression, I expect, for that reason. If not, I mean, you have enough space. So deriving, you want to derive what? You want to derive what is the base, okay? And you put it in this factor.
Yeah.
What shall I write?
So it will be a 1 over x plus?
Yeah, 1 over x plus.
We can make the...
Deriving the radical, now this is power half.
It's going to be another chain rule.
Yeah, deriving the radical, you can make a flash. This is x cubed plus 1 to the power half, and then you derive it. Or you can keep it on radical, and then you derive it the way radical a is a prime over 2 root a. Now, it's up to you, but that only happens, I mean, this rule only happens when it's square root. For that reason, I don't ask you to memorize, because this may be, for example, fourth root or maybe third root. So the only way would be in this case is to write it that form. Okay, so I don't ask you like to memorize. We don't prefer to memorize too much. It's up to you if you are able. So that you can apply in this case, but no need. If you want to derive this, what becomes?
Half.
Half goes to the front, you copy, and it becomes power how much?
Minus half.
1 minus half, okay, times, chain rule comes on, you derive the base, 3x squared. The 1 is a 0, you don't write. Any question? All this is your answer, and that should be a bracket beginning, bracket at the end.
Yeah.
It's not like you have 2 terms or you have many, and it's in under multiplication form. So this is not easy representation at all. All with including 2 power 17. Here it's derivative. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, now that is over. We jump to a new scenario. And this is again derivative, but of a different form. And we call it, but again, it's like finding the equation of the tangent.
Yeah.
So it's an application on derivatives. Yeah, go ahead. Now, right away, they ask you equation of the tangent. Right away, you say that is simply y equal mx plus b. What is missing? M and b. Now we have a point here, x1, y1. It means a point is given. Anyhow, that by the way can be written as 1, 1, or can be written explicitly, the way they provide. So you need to find m first. What is m? M is the slope, but at the same time is the derivative of the given curve. You see, of the given the derivative. So you need to derive. Go ahead, derive.
1 second.
You want to decide how do you derive? Which way you apply?
Product.
Yeah, we have it times in between x, y letter names. Yeah, it's a product, two products in one problem. So yeah, product rule in each. Okay, so let's apply it. U prime v plus v prime u in each. Okay, what would be? So that if you remember, this should be either the u or that is a u. It's up to you. I mean, you want to include the two or not. So let's say this is my u. Let's say this is my u. That is my v.
Okay, so it's gonna be 4x.
4x times
y 4.
to the 4. Okay, plus 4y. Continue. Times.
Oh yeah, wait. 4y3 times 2x squared.
Yeah, 2x squared. Have you missed anything?
No,
I made a space here on purpose. What is missing?
Y prime.
Y prime, yeah, because your question is about derivative. So where's the y prime popping from the y? Okay, deriving the y is a y prime, but deriving the x is a 1 in this case. Okay. Anyhow, continue again. Product rule for that. So let me put an arrow. So what does it become? Plus.
Okay. 3.
Again, you can take the 3x cubed to be your u. So this is my u. Okay. You can some will just they say the 3 extra. I mean taken outside and then you derive, and some would say include the u to be in with the 3. That's up to you. So you want to keep the 3 in u. This would be 9x squared times y plus
y prime.
Y prime times 3x cubed. Okay, equals 5.
Yeah.
Equals 5.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Yeah, I'm putting a note. Is it a 5 or something else? What are you doing in the
0.
Is a 0 because you are deriving. You derive both left and right. So be careful. When I said here derivative, so make it clear. Derivative or derivate. Derivate is the operation here. Derivate all sides, left and right. So this is a 0 because some students keep it as a 5. Anyhow, now your job is to find y prime, but since numbers are given, if numbers are not given, you will work in letters. But since numbers are given, you no need to work in letters at all. X is a 1, y is a 1. So this is a 1. So xy, just catch those, replace n. You don't touch y prime, okay? So that are easy numbers. So they are all ones here, okay? So this would be only a 4. 4 times 2 is an 8y prime. They chose simple numbers, okay? 9y, it means 9, plus prime equals 0. Any question? I mean, that's about replacing. Okay, find y prime. I have those two terms. You add them up. This is 9 and 4, you get 13. Kick it to the right side. So y prime slope is the number below. Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay, are we done? No, because the equation of the tangent is your question. Okay, equation of the tangent question. So you want to find this. M is determined, but still B.
We just take 1 and substitute it into
x. Yeah, you take both numbers, 1, 1 for x and y. So you say y equal mx plus b is the equation of the tangent. So I need, I'm abbreviating T line, okay. X is a 1, y is a 1, so you plug in, and m is the number we obtained, which is minus 13 over 11. So you see times 1 plus b.
It's gonna be a -2/11.
So B would be, I don't have minus y. Which one is a minus?
B.
That you didn't kick. You kept the.
Yeah.
That would be 1 plus 13/11. If you want to push this, it becomes plus, not minus.
Yeah.
So you get 24/11.
Yeah.
Is it good? Okay. So your equation would be what? Your equation would be y equals 13 over plus 24. Any question?
No.
Finish. Number 5. To do this. Yeah. So what do you do? Differential dy. So they ask you to dy. X given, and change in x is given, y is given. So how do you proceed? You say right away, how much is dy? Now you have y equal, it means dy equal, but when you derive dy, then your answer should be times dx. Don't forget. Okay, this is the plan. Any question? Okay, and later, how much is dx, by the way?
So if they ask for, okay.
Change in x. How much is change in x?
That's dx.
0.3 here then. Okay. Now x is 5. We don't plug 5 unless we find our answer. So what comes in this space? What comes in this space is your derivative. Okay. So let me write. I mean y equal f of x. I'm just repeating myself. So dy over dx, which is your derivative, is f prime. This means dy equals f prime dx. So this is the plan. You want to derive, multiply by dx. So the derivative of this, go ahead. Ln is a fraction. That this you derive. Finish. This is quotient rule. You can put your answer right away. Quotient rule. Put the plan. It's u prime v minus v prime u. But what is u prime v here? This is derivative of this is a 1 times. Yeah, continue. X plus 1. Minus. I'm explaining. Now you can jump over those faster. You don't need to write the 1 if you want. But I'm just explaining over. Any question? Good. Be careful. Those should be all in numbers because how much is x? How much?
It's 0.3.
No, this is change in x. Change in x. Change in x we did. Yeah, x is 5. So you replace. No need to do any stuff right here. No need to touch it. Okay, just replace x5 right away. Replace and you get your answer. So this y equals that you do on your calculator, but let me just plug first step. So this is 3 over 16. You put x5, right? You get 6 minus 5 is a 1. Over 5 plus 1, you get 36 here. And that you continue, okay? Any question? But we missed the 0.3. You see this 0.3 to the front. Okay, evaluate. Use calculator. Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Now multiply it by 0.3.
Yeah, at the end. Okay. Now, right here, because I want to finish this test as much as possible. Okay, so this problem is application on, now that we have done many. When they say increase, decrease, it's not clear that there's time involved, but when they say how fast and increasing, and they didn't give you any rate, by the way. So this is about related rate. Related rate, although it is not that clear, but we applied many questions on. Now you should know. So this related rate to time. I mean the increase decrease that they are talking about is either the x over dt or the y over dt. So this is how fast the x and how fast the y with respect to time. Is it good?
Yeah.
Given x cubed plus 4. So the question is not that clear, but that's what they meant. Okay, we explained this at some point. Now we are doing just test solving. Okay, so you wanna its exponent is decreasing. Now they didn't give you a value. Decreasing means it has a negative value. Which one? The x. So this is a negative. We know that is negative. The question is what happens to. So to make that long story short, what you do is to derive. You say derive. but with respect to time. This becomes, any question? So you derive as usual, but you plug to the front its rate of change. So deriving the y would be 20y to the 4 times, and you derive the 12 as well. Is it good? Now we have numbers here, and just they ask you what happens to the y coordinated in change. Is it increase or decrease? So all you have to do just to find this. So you are supposed to take all to the other side. Keep that here. You kick this to the right. Get square. And this is dy over dt. Right away, I want to divide by what is near. Is it okay? And because 20y to the 4, I need to find how much is this. Over dt would be minus 3x squared dx dt divided by how much? 20y to the 4. Any question?
Just 1 second.
Because we don't have numbers, that is happening. Yeah, well, when the point is at 2, 1. So yeah, the numbers come on now. We have numbers right here at 2, 1. Because we have numbers, now you can use numbers at this step. So use 2, 1. You can use it at this step or before. For me, I was doing it in letters. I can even work it out in letters. You know why? Because this is a square, always positive. This is a so need even the numbers, okay? In this case. So that you can do on your own, you can plug in the 2 and the 1. But for me, no need, because those are very clear for me that they are all squares. If they are not squares, I need to replace n. Perfect?
Yeah.
So dy over dt is
Negative.
what happens to the y coordinate? Decrease or increase? We say increase. So we say the y coordinate is increasing, but we don't know the rate. Okay, is increasing at that point. Is it okay?
Yeah. Got it.
Okay. The last question I have is this. Application on cost. This is calculus. So we have the word marginal. What does it mean? That we explain. Marginal is derivative in business. Okay. The marginal cost means the derivative of the cost. Now they say they ask you 2 questions. Find the total cost at production level of 100. So the total cost is this.
Okay.
So the total cost for 100 manufacturing or producing computers, total cost would be C100. That you can do, okay? You plug. Now the marginal cost, first I need to derive. Marginal cost means C prime. You do the derivative, how much would be? So that you calculate, okay? Just calculate. C prime, how much would be deriving 6,000 is a 0, that is a 30, and you multiply 2 times, you get minus 0.1x. Is it okay? So use calculator, 5 times 2, you get 0.1. Okay. Now add 600, so this means replace, is it 600 or 100? Let's say 100, replace 100 and use calculator, that would be 20. 30 minus 10, 20. Is it okay? Now interpret, be careful, what does that 20 mean? And that when you put 100, how much you got? You got a value, how much?
I'll do it now.
You get 3,100, is it?
I'm doing it.
So use calculator, you get.
I got 8,500.
Is it 6,000 or 100? Yeah. So let me fix that. Missed the 0. So this would be 8,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so interpret. What do you say? You want to write a statement, so you say interpretation. What is your interpretation for the total cost? You say the total cost at producing the 100 computers. So be careful, this is written here, okay? The total cost of producing X computers. So you just copy the same statement given. You say the total cost of producing X. So this is 100 computers. This is how much? Because we have two interpretations here, okay? We have this and we have the margin. Is $8,500. So now the interpretation for the second, well, how do you write it? You say the cost, because the marginal, we don't write it. The margin indicates increase, decrease only. So you say the cost is the cost at the production level of, yeah, continue. At production level of what? Of 100 computers, the cost at this production is, because the answer is positive, we say increasing. You agree?
Yeah.
Increasing at what? Increasing at a rate of what?
At a rate
At the rate of this number. So what does that number mean? At the rate of computers, okay? Okay, at the rate of $20 per computer, not 20 computers. At the rate of $20 per computer, per item. Okay, the cost is increasing at this per computer when they reach the 100 level of production. This is part A. Part B, find the average. Now the average means average, as you do average of your grades or marks. Okay, so the average cost, how do you represent the letter name? C bar, which is C divided by X. Now you have
C bar.
Yeah, C bar. Okay.
Okay.
You have your C to be how much? Just copy it. It is 6,000 plus 30X. You want to copy it, my 0.05 divided by X, right?
Yeah.
So that we learned that you should, because you want to avoid the derivative next, which has to do with the marginal. The margin means the derivative. So I want to avoid quotient. To avoid quotient, you should simplify that expression. So we say you divide by X each. We prefer, okay? Now you can leave it, but I prefer to simplify it because it would be simpler. This is a 30, because what is next? Minus 0.05X. So this is your C bar. Do you mind? Okay. Now we prefer to write it that way. You want to keep it, again, it's correct. But this is the average cost. Now the second question here is marginal average cost. So now you say C bar prime, deriving that. So you see the derivative here is so simple now, because that is minus 0.05, and deriving that simply when you kick this X up, it becomes 6,000 X power minus. And if you derive it, you get simply minus 6 X power minus 2.
So the marginal average cost is average cost derived?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's average cost, but this is marginal. Marginal means deriving what you see. Okay, I'm deriving average now. Okay, perfect. This is your answer. Do you have numbers? You plug. You don't have numbers? Yeah, I have 100. So again, you are supposed to do C bar at 100, so that you replace. Again, C bar prime, you replace it here. Any question? And interpretation is the same as we interpret before. Okay, it is interpretation of the total cost and the C prime. You say the same statements. Okay, now this is about cost. Right here, it's about average cost. So that I can leave it for you. But how do you start? You say average cost is the average cost at or of producing. You want to write the same statement. Okay, of producing. Okay, 100 is it same 100? Okay. The average cost of producing 100 computers is, what value do you get? You write. And how do you write the C bar prime? You say the average cost is what? The average cost, like the total, the cost at the production level, the average cost.
Marginal.
With word marginal, we said the average cost at the production level of the word marginal. We don't write it in the
At
state.
the production level indicates that it's marginal.
Yes. Yeah, at the production. No, not yet. At the production level of 100 computers is increase or decrease. So we don't know that C prime. You figure out increase or decrease at the rate of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the average cost at production level of this
Is increasing at a rate
is,
of,
we don't know, at the rate of the number that you get. I mean, it's the same as we did before, but you want to calculate, you want to write here increase or decrease, and the value that you obtained. Here you want to increase or decrease.
okay.
Because you want to use calculator. Good?
Yeah, good.
So yeah, this is the whole test. Yeah, we solve it in an hour. You have 90 minutes. So this is like, yeah, but we were moving fast. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so we meet again on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, see you.
See you. Bye.